Protein mistakes you're making. You may be underestimating the truth about peanut butter, along with 5 other common protein-related errors. Navigating the complexities of protein consumption can be quite challenging. It's not solely about the quantity of protein you consume, the timing of your intake and the sources from which you derive it are equally important. Depending on various factors such as your overall health, age, and activity levels, your protein requirements might be higher than you realize. Protein is a fundamental component of our muscles, essential organs, and skin cells, and it plays a crucial role in regulating our metabolism, appetite, and immune response. While our bodies can synthesize some amino acids, the building blocks of protein, there are others that we must obtain through our diet. And Kozil, a registered dietitian nutritionist at Colorado State University, emphasizes, we store carbohydrates and fats, but we cannot store protein, which is why it's essential to consume it daily. If we don't get enough protein over an extended period, our bodies may start breaking down muscle mass to meet our protein needs, which is something we want to avoid. After consulting with experts and reviewing various studies, we've pinpointed several common mistakes people make regarding protein consumption. Here are 6 significant pitfalls to be aware of. 1. Insufficient protein at breakfast. Consider your meal patterns throughout the day. Are you loading up on protein primarily at dinner? Many individuals tend to consume minimal protein during breakfast, slightly more at lunch, and then a protein-rich dinner, as noted by Kozil. Research suggests that Americans typically derive about half of their daily protein intake from dinner alone. This trend is partly due to the prevalence of protein-rich foods like chicken, burgers, and steak at dinner, while breakfast staples such as bagels, cereals, and pastries are often low in protein and high in refined carbohydrates. This is problematic because protein is essential for promoting feelings of fullness and stabilizing blood sugar levels. Skimping on protein at breakfast can lead to increased hunger and cravings later in the day, making you more likely to reach for unhealthy snacks like donuts or chips. Clinical trials have shown that individuals who consume high-protein breakfasts tend to feel more satisfied and snack less throughout the day compared to those who eat lower-protein breakfasts. Kozil frequently encounters clients who struggle with constant snacking or cravings for sweets. Once we focus on increasing their protein intake at breakfast, it often leads to remarkable improvements. It empowers them to regain control over their food choices, she explains. While individual protein needs vary, a general guideline is to aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast. If you find yourself falling short, consider gradually increasing your intake. For instance, if you usually have a bagel, try adding a couple of scrambled eggs. Alternatively, if muffins are your go-to, switch to a cup of plain Greek yogurt topped with nuts, seeds, and berries. Other excellent breakfast options include cottage cheese, hard-boiled eggs, or breakfast burritos filled with scrambled eggs, beans, and cheese or avocado. You might also whip up a smoothie using a high-quality protein powder derived from egg whites, whey, soy, or pea protein. 2. Assuming peanut butter is a high-protein food. You've likely heard that peanut butter is a great source of protein, with many brands proudly advertising their protein content. However, a recent report published in a leading sports nutrition journal cautions that peanut butter may not be as protein-rich as many believe. The report highlights that peanut butter is an energy-dense food, meaning it contains significantly more fat and calories per ounce compared to other high-protein foods like eggs, Greek yogurt, lean meats, and fish. While peanut butter is indeed nutritious, offering fiber, vitamins, minerals, and heart-healthy fats, it contains at least twice as many grams of fat as it does protein. Therefore, it should be viewed primarily as a source of healthy fats rather than a significant protein source, according to Jose Antonio, a co-author of the report and a professor at Nova Southeastern University in Florida. If you check the nutrition label on any jar of peanut butter, you'll notice that it's predominantly fat, Antonio explains. While the fat is beneficial, don't deceive yourself into thinking you're getting a substantial amount of high-quality protein. For reference, 2 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter, equivalent to 1 serving, contains about 7 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat, and 190 calories. The report's authors advise those who use peanut butter to meet their protein needs to consume it in moderation due to its high caloric density, as excessive intake could lead to unintended weight gain. Peanut butter is healthy, but calories still count, Antonio warns. If you want to gain weight, eating a lot of peanut butter will do the trick, but it's not an ideal protein source. 3. Inadequate protein intake for older adults. According to the National Academy of Medicine, the average adult requires about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which translates to approximately 54 grams of protein daily for a sedentary adult. This amount is merely the minimum needed to prevent malnutrition. Athletes or those who exercise regularly should aim for higher protein intake, ranging from 0.54 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Pregnant women in their second or third trimester also require more protein, about 0.5 grams per pound. However, many people overlook the fact that protein needs also change with age. As we grow older, we naturally lose muscle mass, a process that accelerates after the age of 60. Additionally, our muscles become less responsive to protein, making it more challenging to build and repair muscle tissue, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. Katie Dodd, a registered dietitian nutritionist who runs a blog focused on nutrition for seniors, emphasizes the importance of protecting muscle mass as we age. We need muscle for everyday activities, from getting out of bed to walking down the stairs and even brushing our teeth, she notes. To combat age-related muscle loss and anabolic resistance, older adults should consume more than the recommended dietary allowance for protein. For those aged 65 and older, aiming for about 0.45 to 0.54 grams of protein per pound of body weight is advisable, which equates to roughly 68 to 81 grams of protein daily for an average 150-pound senior. Research indicates that a significant number of older adults do not meet their protein requirements. A study conducted across the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the Netherlands found that up to 30% of older adults fail to reach the recommended dietary allowance of 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. 4. Excessive consumption of red and processed meats. Research indicates that the primary sources of protein in the American diet are chicken and red meat, followed closely by dairy products, processed meats, refined grains, and eggs. However, processed meats such as hot dogs, bacon, sausages, and deli meats are often high in sodium, saturated fats, and preservatives. Red meats, including beef, pork, lamb, and veal, are also rich in saturated fats, which can elevate LDL cholesterol levels associated with heart disease. High consumption of red and processed meats has been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers, particularly colorectal cancer, which has seen a rise among younger adults. The American Institute for Cancer Research recommends limiting red meat intake to no more than 3 portions per week, roughly equivalent to 12 to 18 ounces of cooked meat, and advises consuming little to no processed meats. 5. Neglecting seafood in your diet. Seafood is among the most nutritious high-protein foods available, packed with essential vitamins, minerals, and omega-3 fatty acids, nutrients that our bodies require but cannot produce on their own. A 3.5-ounce serving of wild salmon contains at least 22 grams of protein, comparable to nearly 4 eggs. Health experts recommend consuming at least 2 servings of seafood each week, yet a staggering 90% of adults in the U.S. do not meet this guideline. If you fall into this category, you might be missing out on significant health benefits. Studies have shown that regular seafood consumption supports brain and heart health and reduces the risk of premature death. A meta-analysis involving around 670,000 adults found that those who consumed the most seafood had a lower likelihood of dying prematurely from any cause. Specifically, individuals who ate half a serving of fish daily, approximately 2 ounces, were 12% less likely to experience early mortality compared to those who consumed little or no seafood. The healthiest seafood options include wild and farmed salmon, sardines, anchovies, and Atlantic mackerel, rainbow trout, mussels, oysters. 6. Overlooking protein-rich plant sources. Another excellent source of protein that often goes unnoticed is pulses, which encompass beans, peas, and lentils. Why is protein everywhere? Nutrition experts reveal the truth behind the protein boom. Why is everyone suddenly fascinated by protein? A BU nutrition expert breaks down the hype. You can't walk down a grocery store aisle these days without being bombarded by bold promises about protein. Brightly colored boxes of cereal now shout, "More protein per serving," where they once sold themselves with cartoons. The refrigerated beverage section has shifted focus from sodas and juices to high-protein shakes and energy drinks like Muscle Milk, boasting eye-popping numbers like 40 grams per bottle. Even the classic snack aisle, a battleground of chips and cookies, hasn't escaped the protein push. Enter New Age, protein chips, claiming 18 grams per serving, making even junk food seem like a health food hero. It feels like protein is everywhere, having taken center stage in America's food conversation. But here's where things get interesting. According to Joan Salge-Blake, a seasoned nutrition specialist and clinical professor at Boston University's Sargent College, protein wasn't always in the limelight. There's always something trendy, Salge-Blake notes with a knowing smile. It used to be all about counting calories, then everyone was avoiding carbs, then sugar got its turn in the hot seat. Now protein is the superstar. But, she points out, the current protein craze might have real staying power. Protein isn't just another trend, it is absolutely essential to our health. For beginners, think of protein as the building material for our bodies. It's in our muscles, bones, skin, hair, practically all body tissues. On a microscopic level, proteins are crucial workers in our cells, helping maintain the structure, carry out functions, and regulate the body. As the National Institutes of Health puts it, proteins are at the heart of almost every process in our bodies, from moving muscles to carrying oxygen and fighting infections. So, why the sudden obsession? Here's the part most people miss. The focus on protein isn't just about getting fit or ripped. Social media trends and food marketing strategies have definitely fanned the flames, but there's another major factor at play. Salge-Blake points to the growing wave of weight loss medications like Wegovy and Ozempic, which can dramatically reduce appetite, and sometimes leave people feeling too nauseous to eat much at all. For people taking these medications, millions in the US, ensuring enough protein becomes vital. Without it, they risk losing muscle mass and feeling even more fatigued. And this is where protein truly matters, Salge-Blake explains. This isn't just a passing trend for gym-goers anymore. There are real groups of people who must actively monitor their protein intake and make sure they're spreading it steadily throughout the day. But wait, does everyone really need to stress about protein? Here's a controversial twist. Most healthy individuals don't have to overthink their protein intake. According to Salge-Blake, a regular diet already includes plenty of protein-rich foods, such as meat, fish, eggs, grains, tofu, yogurt, beans, and milk. Eating adequate protein helps keep your muscles in good shape and keeps you full, too, a bonus for anyone trying to avoid overeating. So how much do you really need? The National Academy of Medicine provides a simple guideline: aim for at least 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. If mental math isn't your thing, that's just a little over 7 grams of protein for every 20 pounds you weigh. For example, someone who weighs 140 pounds needs about 50 grams daily, while a person at 200 pounds is looking at around 70 grams. Here comes a major debate in the nutrition world: can focusing too much on protein do more harm than good? Salge-Blake warns that when one macronutrient takes the spotlight, we risk neglecting the rest. Take the carnivore diet, for example, a controversial approach that cuts out nearly everything except animal protein. Sounds extreme, right? But some followers actually skip fruits and vegetables entirely, and, surprisingly, cases of scurvy, vitamin C deficiency, have popped up as a result. Is chasing protein worth missing out on the nutrients from plants? At the end of the day, Salge-Blake says, the wisest advice isn't always the most exciting: aim for a wide variety of foods, with plenty of fruits and vegetables. Sorry, protein-packed nacho chips, you're no substitute for a balanced meal. But what do you think? Is the protein craze helping us become healthier, or is it just clever marketing dressed up as science? Have you changed your eating habits because of protein hype, or do you stick to old-fashioned balanced meals? Share your thoughts and join the discussion below. The best insights often come from hearing different perspectives. 5 protein mistakes you must avoid to keep your kidneys safe. 5 protein pitfalls you should avoid to protect your kidneys. In our modern health-focused society, protein has taken center stage in numerous dietary plans. Many individuals are increasing their protein intake with the hopes of enhancing muscle growth, managing hunger, or shedding pounds. However, it's crucial to understand that while protein is essential, consuming it in excess does not necessarily yield better results. The kidneys serve as the body's natural filtration system, playing a vital role in removing waste generated from protein metabolism. When we consume too much protein, it can lead to kidney damage over time, particularly for those with pre-existing conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, or undiagnosed kidney issues. Let's explore 5 common mistakes that could be more harmful than you might think. 1. Excessive consumption of animal proteins, red and processed meats, ****. Overindulging in animal proteins, particularly red and processed meats, can put significant strain on your kidneys. High-protein diets can elevate pressure within the kidney's filtering units, known as glomeruli, leading to a condition called hyperfiltration. Research indicates that individuals who consume higher amounts of red and processed meats are nearly twice as likely to develop chronic kidney disease, CKD, compared to those who eat the least. 2. Over-reliance on protein shakes and powders ****. The fitness industry often promotes protein powders as a quick solution, but it's essential to remember that these supplements come with their own risks. Most protein powders are not regulated by the FDA, which means they can contain harmful additives that may burden the kidneys. Studies have found concerning levels of heavy metals, such as lead and cadmium, in popular protein powders, which are known to cause kidney damage over time. Additionally, many of these products are loaded with added sugars, sodium, and other fillers that can be detrimental to your health. 3. Neglecting regular kidney function tests ****. In the United States, research shows that approximately 1 in 7 adults has CKD, often without their knowledge. The kidneys can deteriorate gradually without noticeable symptoms, especially in older individuals. The National Kidney Foundation recommends that everyone over the age of 60, as well as younger individuals at high risk, undergo annual kidney screenings. This includes simple blood tests to measure creatinine levels and urine tests to check for protein. 4. Overlooking plant-based and kidney-friendly proteins ****. Focusing solely on animal proteins while disregarding plant-based options is a missed opportunity for enhancing kidney health. A significant study revealed that individuals with the highest intake of plant proteins had about a 70% lower risk of developing new CKD over a 6-year period compared to those with the lowest intake. Plant proteins are generally lower in sodium, saturated fats, and phosphates, making them a safer choice for kidney health. 5. Ignoring personal risk factors ****. It's important to recognize that not everyone metabolizes protein in the same way. Older adults and those with chronic health conditions should be particularly cautious. Kidney function naturally declines with age, and around 34% of Americans aged 65 and older have some form of CKD. Some estimates suggest that over half of individuals aged 75 and older may have kidney disease. For seniors, individuals with diabetes, or those with hypertension or known kidney issues, a high-protein diet can exacerbate kidney damage. 6. The myth of more is better ****. While older adults are often advised to increase their protein intake to prevent muscle loss, it's essential to strike a balance. Excessive protein consumption, especially without accompanying strength training, can still put a strain on aging kidneys. A combination of moderation and resistance exercises is more effective for maintaining muscle health. 7. Mind your portions ***. As the saying goes, more is not always better. It's crucial to be mindful of your protein portions to avoid potential health risks. 8. Insufficient water intake ***. Failing to drink enough water after consuming protein can lead to various health issues, including kidney strain, dehydration, constipation, bloating, and hindered muscle recovery, among others. Conclusion. In summary, while protein is a vital nutrient, it's essential to consume it wisely and be aware of the potential risks associated with excessive intake. Are you guilty of any of these protein pitfalls? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss how we can all make better choices for our kidney health.